In today's world, relationships are increasingly being treated like experiments as something to try, test, and toss aside if they don't meet expectations quickly enough. There's a growing mindset that love must be tested before it's trusted. People want the emotional high, the fun, the thrill, without truly stepping into the commitment, the challenge, the work. This isn't love. This is consumption. Modern culture encourages this behavior. It promotes the idea that everything, including people, is replaceable. We scroll through dating apps like menus, swipe left or right as if hearts were appetizers. We seek instant chemistry, instant understanding, instant fulfillment. And when a relationship begins to feel uncomfortable, unclear, or ordinary, we're quick to call it incompatible and move on to the next option. But relationships aren't options, so they are investments. The truth is, love cannot be tested. It must be chosen. There's a world of difference between trying someone and truly knowing someone. You can't know the depth of a person by dipping your toes into shallow waters. You can't build a meaningful bond by sitting at the edge, watching, waiting, and withholding your full presence. That's not how love works. That's not how trust grows. What many fail to understand is that love isn't about finding the perfect fit. It's about becoming the kind of person who knows how to love deeply, patiently, and fully. It's about showing up when things get uncomfortable, not disappearing when they do. It's about giving and not just receiving. Love is not an audition, it's a journey, and journeys demand commitment, not blind commitment, but conscious commitment. A decision to walk alongside someone, not because they're perfect, but because the bond is worth growing. When people say they're testing a relationship, what they often mean is they're avoiding vulnerability. They're afraid to risk their heart, so they build a mental exit plan. They say, let's just see how this goes, but deep down, they're holding back, guarding their emotions, protecting their pride. That guardedness creates distance, and distance, over time, kills the very thing they're trying to understand. Love can't thrive in temporary spaces. It needs roots, and roots don't grow in shallow soil. You can't expect trust, loyalty, and deep connection from something you're only partially invested in. A relationship is not a trial period, it's a living thing, and like all living things, it requires nurturing, not sampling. Here's the uncomfortable truth: those who constantly seek to taste, test, and move on often end up feeling emptier, not wiser. They mistake variety for fulfillment and casual intimacy for connection. But no matter how many people they test, they rarely feel seen, known, or deeply valued. Because those things don't come from tasting it, they come from planting, growing, and staying. You can't grow something beautiful by uprooting it every time it doesn't bloom instantly. And you can't experience the depth of love if you never allow yourself to dig deep in the first place. So many potential relationships are lost not because they were wrong, but because no one gave them the time, patience, and honesty they needed to evolve. Relationships take time to unfold, to stabilize, to mature. But in a culture obsessed with speed and shortcuts, very few are willing to endure that process. People want butterflies without the commitment, passion without the perseverance, intimacy without the risk. But the most meaningful relationships are not born out of tasting. They're born out of trust, out of the choosing each other again and again, not just on good days, but through silence, through doubt, through growth. Love isn't something you discover by chance. It's something you co-create with intention. So ask yourself sincerely, are you tasting love, or are you showing up for it? Are you keeping one foot out the door, or are you willing to walk the long road, hand in hand, heart to heart? Because the truth is, tasting a relationship will never satisfy your soul. Only the courage to commit will take you where love truly lives. It's time to stop treating love like a flavor to sample and start honoring it as a bond to be built. If the relationship is worth entering, it's worth giving your full heart to, not fragments, not conditions, not temporary interest. The world does not need more people trying love, it needs more people choosing it. The question isn't whether love is real. The question is whether we are willing to be real enough to experience it. Whether we have the strength to let our guards down, to let someone in, to take off the masks and say, this is me. Not perfect, not finished either, but present, honest, and willing to grow. Because in the end, love doesn't ask you to be flawless. It only asks you to be faithful to the process, to the connection, to the commitment you once thought was impossible but now understand is essential. If you want something meaningful, you must stop playing with temporary people and start becoming a permanent person. You must stop waiting for the perfect moment and start creating it with consistency. Let this be the moment you break free from the cycle of shallow connections. Let this be the moment you stop searching and start showing up. No more "let's see where this goes." Say instead, "Let's go 3 together." You do not need more dates. You need more depth. You do not need more options. You need more honesty. You do not need more attention. You need more intention. So, decide, will you continue tasting relationships like a fearful consumer, or will you finally start living them like a courageous creator? Stop chasing the illusion of perfect love and start becoming the person who can build it. Because love is not found. Love is made. One day at a time. One choice at a time. One moment of courage at a time. And the time to choose a broken bar is now.